Hey everybody. All right, so I'm just gonna make a quick little video here. Just a couple tips and tricks on how to use Word equation editor in a way that's easy, fast, and useful for us. Okay, so um, first thing, when if you just if let's say I'm here in my Word document and I click Insert. So first of all, how to get to equation editor. At the top, see that? Sorry about the logo. Hide that logo. Okay, if we see this, go to Insert up here, and then you go over to Equation. It'll there we go. It'll insert an equation. However, it'll always, if it's on a blank line, it'll always insert the equation center justified, and then you can do a bunch of stuff in terms of aligning with characters and that sort of stuff. But I find that takes a long time, and it can be quite frustrating with trying to get everything lined up the way you want it to. So the way that I've found that works easiest for me, okay, you don't have to do it this way, but I find this is, for me, this is the easiest. So I click Insert, and instead of adding an equation itself, I first add a text box. So let's say, starting here, add a text box. Just a simple text box here. Now a text box can be really frustrating because they want to align themselves to your text in a certain way. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it just to be in front of text. If you make a text box in front of text, you can put it wherever you'd like. Then I'm going to get rid of any fill, so it's transparent, and make sure the outline is also transparent. Now I have this transparent text box I can do whatever I want with, and I'm going to now insert my equation. Now I have this text box where I can insert an equation and I can move it wherever I'd like. It's completely free of any paragraph type stuff. It's just a completely free to move thing. I find it very easy to stack them on top of each other. You can copy and paste these things all over the place and just use them as is. Okay? So now I have my equation. So I can type in whatever I'd like, right? D is equal to B times T. Okay. Now, the first thing I want you guys to realize is that spacebar is a very powerful tool in Equation Editor. When you click the spacebar, it looks back at what you've done and tries to format it the way you want. Let's say I have I want a fraction. Okay, I want, let's say V is equal to D divided by T. Right, so I have a little line here, and if I hit spacebar at this point, it's going to change that into a fraction. Okay. You could have also, if you just done D divided by T, and if you hit plus or something, any sort of thing, but the spacebar, if you do it right away, it sort of formats it the way you want it to. In the same way that if I go, let's say I have a bracket, I want D divided by T again. Now I can close my bracket. If I hit, now it looks really ugly with the little tiny brackets, but if I hit spacebar now, it sees that bracket and it spreads it out to the size that you want it to be. Okay, and you can do the same thing. Square brackets. Let's try that again. D over T with square brackets. And if I hit spacebar, it makes it fit the size we want it to be. Or you could use squiggly brackets, or even pipes. This is above the backslash. This would be like an absolute value. If I hit spacebar now, it makes it fit what I want it to be. Okay. Now square root is the next one I want to show you. Now, sometimes when you want a character or something, you're going to hit the backslash. So that's just below your backspace button, probably, not your regular slash, your backslash. And if you hit SQRT, so that's square root, and if you hit spacebar now, it's going to see that sqrt and turn it into a square root. Now if I hit spacebar again, so this is just a square root symbol, okay, but I want a square root bracket or a square root box that I can put stuff into. So I'm gonna hit spacebar again, and it formatted it as a box. So I could put d over t here, or I could put anything I want in. Okay. So again, I'll do that again. So backslash square root slash spacebar again. Now I have this box, and I can put whatever I like into it. Okay. So those are our brackets, and so that's the first thing I want you to know. So formatting these guys. Next, what about now? If I want here, and I can make this smaller, I can move this wherever I'd like. Let's say I wanted to do another one. I can clone it. The fastest way to clone something is you click on it. Make sure you're not highlighting the text, but highlighting the box. So if I click on the actual dotted line here, go solid. So that's now selecting the whole box itself. And if I go Control D, not Control C, Control C and Control V will work as well, right? Copy paste. But if I just hit Control D, it just makes a new copy of it. It clones it. Now I have a second one, and I can slide it underneath. Let's say I substitute in here 16, and I can do it again. Select it, click on the line itself, clone it, and the square root of 16 is 4. And then I can just make my box the right size so that my equal signs are nicely stacked on top of each other. Okay? So I have now I have this nice little mathematical expression here. I can move things around. All right, let's say all of them, and I can slide them over to here, wherever I'd like them to be. Okay. What about subscripts and superscripts? This is pretty straightforward. I have a new equation here. I want, let's say D2. I'm going to go D. And instead of, I could go up to here, right? All these things you can do in all these, but they take a long time, a lot of clicks. So instead, you just go subscript. You want to go _2. And that doesn't look like subscript. Yep. So again, we have to use our spacebar. So we click spacebar, that makes it a subscript. And let's say I want to make it D2 squared. I hit the hat, so shift 6. That's our hat. And I hit 2. Oops. And it's squared. Okay, so D2 squared. Let's write one of those equations. I want to do here. I want that D to be a V. Right, so V2 squared is equal to V1 squared. Now, delta T. So how do I do a delta? We'll go to that. We'll leave this for now, okay? So there's, and I want squared. Oops. You gotta make sure that you're inside that equation editor for it to work. Okay, that's superscripts and subscripts. So superscripts are with the hat, so shift 6. Subscripts are with the underscore. What about vectors? I want these to be vectors now. Copy and paste that here. What you have to do for vectors is once you're right behind, see, now I'm in the subscript, now I'm in the superscript. I want my cursor to be highlighted the actual symbol, so V. I'm in here, I'm after the V. And I'm going to go /VEC, so vec. And if I hit spacebar at this point, it's going to see that and transform it into an actual arrow, but it's not on top of the V, so I'm going to hit spacebar again. Okay, I'll do that again for you. V, hit /VEC, and hit spacebar twice. I've made that into a vector. C, space, I have my new vector. Okay, so again, vectors /VEC. Okay, Greek letters are fun. Actually, quite straightforward to do. You can insert them up with those things up there, but it's actually a lot faster. If you go equals, say, lambda. So go / again, and then just type in lambda. If I want a lowercase lambda, it's L-A-M, lambda. And if you hit spacebar now, it transforms it into a Greek lowercase l. Or what about a capital lambda? You hit capital lambda, and it gives you a capital lambda. Delta, alpha, oops, spelled alpha wrong. So all your Greek letters are hiding in there. Okay? Theta for your, whoops, theta for your angles. So all your Greek symbols again, so it's backslash, sorry, and then type your actual, I do this all day, Omicron. Oops. I don't know how to spell Omicron. Oh well. Okay, so there's our Greek letters. Now, you're going to have a problem when you're, let's say we're going to do an equation. So v2 squared equals v1 squared plus 2a factor, and then delta, delta t, oh no, d, a vector. Okay, so I've got my kinematic equation here, and let's say I wanted to substitute in, so that I copy and pasted it, I go Control D, moved it underneath, and let's say I know I want to substitute in here the actual v1. So let's say it's 14 meters per second. Now the problem with this is if I go meters per second, it's going to translate that into a fraction because it sees that. So the way I get around that problem is I don't put in the fraction. So there's my meters. It's going to say meters per second squared. Fine, nicely. And now what I do to fix that, also notice that these are italicized. So italics in equation editor imply a symbol, but I want those to be a unit. I don't want them to be italicized. It looks kind of funny and it implies that they have some sort of meaning, right? That they're a number or a variable. So what I do is I go Control I highlight them, highlight these guys, and I go Control I, and that makes it now a non-italicized. So Control I toggles between italics and not italics. Okay. Or if you don't want, you can just highlight it with your mouse and go up to here and click on that. Okay, the italics button, and then I go back. I'm going to leave that for now. Substitute into here instead of a. I'm going to have let's say 9.81. Oops, 9.81 meters per second. Leave the slash out for now. Meters per second squared bracket. I'm going to hit the spacebar at this point so that it fixes the bracket however it wants to be, and then let's say 2.0 meters. Okay, so now again I don't like that, so I'm going to change that into non-italics. And these guys, oh, not italic. Okay, so now that it's done and I've lined it up nicely, I'm going to go back and put in all my slashes, even though that's going to mess up my justification. And there we are. Okay, and then I can copy and paste this into my next line, go to my calculator, work it all out, whatever it is. Okay, that's 3 meters squared, seconds squared. Oops, forgot to put spacebar at this point. Okay, and again, I can put in make these non-italic in my slash afterward. So that's a little bit annoying. It's a little bit frustrating, but I don't know if it's 65. Just make that number. Okay, so going back here. So again, equation editor is really useful when you figure out all these little tricks here, adding vectors, subscripts, superscripts, Greek letters. Okay, and again, if you put them into these nice into these boxes, into these text boxes that you can then manipulate easily, move them around, makes your life a lot easier. Okay, so just a quick little intro to equation editor, help you out in putting your equations all through your labs and assignments, whatever. This is how I make um, the solutions for all your homework problems. It's just like this. Okay, so it is quite fast once you get a hang of it. Once you figure out the keystrokes. So, all right. So, best of luck and have fun playing around with the equation editor.